What's up?
Yeah.
What's good? It's your boy Terrence J, man. Listen, man, we all during these quarantine times got to check in on the fam, make sure everybody's good. And right now, one of my favorite people, man, we have very long conversations, and I'm glad y'all get to listen in on one of them. My brother, Director X. What's happening, boy?
What up, bro? How you feeling, man? You all right?
I'm good, man. I'm good, man. So what's going on with you, man? I just told you I took my test yesterday. This whole thing feels crazy. How have you been feeling through everything that's been happening?
I mean, I go through waves, you know what I mean? We're both repping on the hat game. I got the 100 miles Toronto line. You got your LA hat. We both,
All day, all day.
you know what I'm saying, represent. Look, I don't know, I'm like saying, go through waves. Like, for the first 2 weeks, I was really online doing a lot of, you know, arguing about herbal medicine and just that whole thing. And then the next 2 weeks, I was on another wave. And now I'm really kind of thinking about work, studying the craft, and, you know, reading a lot. So finally we keep ourselves occupied because, you know, what else we going to do? You know what I'm saying?
It's so hard to catch a rhythm. I've been waking up like at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. My body's off, just trying to sleep through the full night. And just like you said, man, it's, when I go to the gym, it's easy to stay motivated in the gym. It's so hard when you're at home. It's so hard to eat right when you're at home all day.
Yeah.
And then with no end in sight, it's like, all right, I don't have to work towards my gym body yet. I still got time. Like it's tough when there's no end date in sight for us.
Yeah, you know, and I'm a deadline guy too, right? So I could put something off until they're like, all right, well, we need this Monday, but then I'm on it. But when it's just one of those, hey, read this script, get back to us. It's all that, man. It's just strange days, brother. Strange days.
But, despite anything that's going on in the world, you've always managed to stay creative, come out with innovative projects, push the envelope. What is your key to tapping into that level of creativity?
Well, I mean, part of it is the technology allows us to keep cracking at things, right? So even if I'm not fully in the mode to create or write or draw or make something, I can lose myself in the craft. There is some kid has dedicated, I guarantee, no matter what you're interested, there's some kid who's dedicated themselves to making YouTube videos about it on a regular basis, Yeah. So, and as a filmmaker, I'm lucky. I got a playlist that I collect these filmmaking, hundreds of videos. I must have 300 in there. There's kids who do it about story. They do it about script writing. They do it about cinematography. They do it about acting. They do really kind of insightful looks into the craft that I can lose myself in. You know what I mean? Because I was already.
What are some of those pages? Like you just go on YouTube and then you find?
Yeah, filmmaking. Just type it in YouTube. Filmmaking. Essay. Filmmaking video essays. There's a lot of people who make video essays. So filmmaking video essays and stuff will come out. And again, they do it about everything: acting, story. There's a lot of people who do it about story. Yeah. Right? It's kind of the next level of being a film critic. Because there's a lot of people who get on and just kind of criticize a movie. I'm talking people who are deep in there, like this inciting incident doesn't connect to the setup of the theme, and that's why the climax point is far too. they're like it's like film school. They're like film professors. And then there's reading. Then there's a good old school just reading the books about these things. So when you come out, at least your skill set is better. As opposed to, there's a lot of like, if you don't got a new skill, by the time you come out of quarantine, you ain't really about your. How about if you haven't improved yours? How about, at some point, just dive into your craft.
There was a moment in time between when I graduated from college, before I made it on TV. And, I was just super poor, had a bunch of student debt, and I couldn't even afford a TV in the apartment I had. And I would just spend hours and hours in Barnes & Noble, right? And I was just, that's back when I read Who Moves My Cheese and The Alchemist for the first time, and, 1 Minute Manager and all these books. And it became the foundation for a bunch of stuff that I did later on in my life. And I feel like that's been the same. I just read the Divine Law of Compensation, which was an incredible book. I went back and read The Art of War. And I haven't read that in like 10 years. And so, yeah, I agree with you fully in just taking this time. You know, you don't have to come out with a six pack, but at least sharpening or improving upon whatever your skill base could be is valuable within this time.
Totally, man. If you're interested in it, then here you go. And you kind of find what you're not interested in anymore. Yeah. You know, my favorite art of war line is always only use a battle to exploit a victory, never to rescue a defeat.
100%. And for us out there, whether it's going into a pitch meeting, you know, whatever it may be, that's something we can apply every day. What have you been watching on the film side? What do you like right now? What are you watching on TV? What are you on Netflix checking out?
I caught up on all the shows. That was it. For 2 weeks, I was just catching up on shows. So I caught up on Narcos, Mexico. Yep. I did.
Do Ozark?
Huh? I did Ozark season 3, and I think Ozark might have been the first one I caught up on. Yeah. Did Ozark. I did all Westworld. I mean, I hadn't watched any Westworld till this went down. Now I'm all Westworld. All caught up.
Season 2 was a little tough for me with the story. Season 1 was just mind blowing, and then season 3 was so much fun. It was so fun to get out of Westworld and go to different worlds.
What I liked about it is, you know, like I'm a nerd, right? So a lot of science fiction, they avoid the real everyday life of people. They always make it a military setting. You're on a spaceship, you're in the military, whatever. So you never go to a planet and just go on a date and just get like, because we're still gonna get coffee in 300 years. We're still gonna take the girl out. You're still gonna, you know what I mean? Like, but what is that like in the future? At least it feels like Westworld is touching on that kind of interesting life. But you know, they didn't predict a pandemic keeping us all inside our house for.
Oh man, it's been crazy. So have you been going stir crazy in the house, or have days been okay for you mentally?
They're okay. I split my time up, right? So I got a place downtown and a place uptown. My son is uptown, so I do that, and you know.
You in Toronto or you in LA?
I'm in Toronto.
You're in okay.
So and then I can come downtown and, you know, do phone calls late at night, do whatever I gotta do. So I can split it up. But yeah, man, when I'm in this place right now, I can understand this would not be fun by yourself. And you know, this is for a downtown apartment, this is big and spacious, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, you know, some kid is in a studio apartment and just kind of you know what I'm saying? There, like this would be a very rough ride to do alone.
Families, you know, if you have multiple people in the crib, it's tough, man. So, you know, my heart goes out to anybody that's in a bad position during this time. Anybody that was in a transitional phase. Imagine if you were about to move or about to start a new job or anything like that. All the college kids graduating on the cusp of their life, and then they're stuck, and then, you know, everybody working in medical fields and at the grocery stores and gas stations. Like, it's just it's one of those time frames where it's unprecedented. I think, you know, when I try to look at why God did this and try to look at the silver linings, there are conversations like this that are beautiful, and being able to spend time with your friends and people that, you know, you and I have talked on the phone more now in the past couple of months, because now we have time. It's like we're not rushing, and it is good to build relationships. That is one of the benefits of it.
Well, you know, I look at this, man. The system we're in has needed to change for a long time, and you know, we were saying yesterday, I've been paying attention to world politics. Yep. Worldwide, the amount of protests that were going on, we were at a breaking point with the system, and it's just not tenable. We're in a moment of history that will go down in history as, in the same way, like the French Revolution, with the gap between the rich and poor, and it was ugly before this happened, and now it's cracking. And I've long said, look, our society we have a make-believe society. There's what's real and make-believe, you know what I mean? And we've confused it all. So money is a make-believe thing. We've made ourselves believe that it does what it does. But at the same time, you need money. You need a game chip. It's just the way we function, right? But we move it make believe and none. So you get sick, you need the make believe money to get better. That doesn't make sense. You're a smart kid. You have the ability to be at one of the best schools in the world, but you don't have to make believe money, so you don't get to go. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a side housing. You shouldn't have to sleep on the streets because you didn't have enough of the monopoly money. Then on the flip side, you write a song and everyone in the world wants to sing it to you. In fact, they'll gather 10,000 people at a time to watch you sing and sing with, you know what I'm saying? Well, then you deserve your game chip. You deserve, and we all get that.
Yeah.
But we need to separate that now. We need to say, look, all right, now it's survival. So here's your whatever we need to do is really to go into the 21st century and still have humanity doing the things we're doing. You know what I mean? People dying because they don't have enough money to pay for a medication, for bombing one. We have to grow out of it, and I think God is going to force it on us.
When you look at, I looked out my window the other day, and there's a mountain range. I'm in the valley, and I've never seen it so crystal clear. And when you look, you don't see the trash on the streets like that. Mm-hmm. When you look at just our environment, just what we do to our planet and the way we destroy it on a daily basis is like, it's almost like there was a universe reset that said, okay, y'all are fucking this up. Take a moment, breathe, take a look around, and I love, yeah, exactly. I loved your comparison to the French Revolution. This time frame will absolutely go down in history, and hopefully we'll come out. Either we're gonna come out on the wrong side of this, or the right side. And I hope it's the right. I hope that the time away has given all of us a perspective to love each other more, love our planet more, love the next man more, and we can all be better from it. Because I think you're right. We needed to slow down. Just this year alone, the fact that I was stressed between, do I go to Super Bowl, All-Star, or Sundance, because it's all at the same time, made me realize that 15 years ago, the world wasn't moving this fast, bro. Yeah. You can do one thing and you can move in a way, and like now it's like, yo, I can't imagine being 16 years old and feeling like, oh my God, Coachella, oh my God, like there's a festival every week. Yeah, like, crazy. It's like we need to slow down a bit.
Yeah, we're just eating. You know what I mean? We're just eating, and wondering why we're getting fat. We're just flying through. There's just so much stuff to do. We're basically purposeless, which is what's happened, right? We are at least the first world. We're spoiled teenage kids who parents handle everything. So all we do is fuck around, right? So what do we? There's no one giving us a mission. There's no one saying, let's clean up the planet. Let's do nothing. So we just do stuff. Well, all right, well, there's nothing meaningful to do. Then we'll just do whatever. Let's go hang out. Let's go to Coachella, and then we'll go to the Super Bowl, and then we'll do Burning Man. Want to come to Burning Man? My friend's doing something, but let's go Burning Man. All right, cool. We're at Burning Man. We're just doing what we can do, because again, we're really purposeless right now, and we need a moment again, and perhaps this is what's going on, where humanity says, we're doing this. We're cleaning the ocean. Yeah. We're cleaning the air. But we're so tied to the money. And that's really the key. Like, Jeff Bezos is going to come out a trillionaire on this. Have you ever seen that headline?
Of course, bro. I use Amazon every day, bro.
Yeah, we all do it.
It's crazy.
Meanwhile, his workers, they fired the kid, black kid from Staten Island. Yep. Was like, yo, we're dying in here. There's people with I'm a manager and I know these people have a virus and you ain't telling everybody. How about we go on strike? How about you're fired? Bezos was in the room. Like I said, I'm left, right? I'm a lefty left. He was in the room at the meeting talking about how they're going to discredit the kid. Saying, yo, yes, brother. They're like, yo, well, he's not that educated and he doesn't sound intelligent. So what we'll do is, these are common. The man's about to be a trillionaire, trying to fuck over a guy who's making how many dollars above minimum wage? What? You know what I mean? Like, you can't do this. Okay, we're not in it. We're very blessed. Yeah, we don't have our own private jets. You know what I'm saying? But we live, living a wonderful life in the entertainment industry. Yep. There's a world of people who ain't near this shit, ain't got no connection to it, and all they know is they're starving. And they just spent 5 hours in a lineup to get a box of food from the food bank.
Yeah.
And Jeff Bezos is a trillionaire and still and is cutting his workers' time at Whole Foods so he doesn't have to pay their health care. Bro, shit snaps, eh?
And you know, we're allocating trillions of dollars of government funding that's happening all over the world, and it's going to big businesses. It's not going to the, you know, the barbershops and the beauty salons and the car washes down in Inglewood. It's going to Ruth Chris and Topgolf and, you know,
No,
like
Lakers.
Yeah, the Lakers, the LA Lakers. So it's I agree with you. It's the distribution of wealth. The class system is going to come to a breaking point, and it's like, you're right. There needs to be more organized efforts, and it's good that minds like yours, like mine, like we're all able to kind of sit away from projects, not worry about manning a production set right now, and really focus on, okay, what's the legacy that we're all gonna live? Now, when I have conversations with Puff, it's like, all right, we've done all these things, right? What is the legacy that we're gonna leave behind? How are we gonna leave the planet in a better place? How are we gonna leave the system in a better place than it was when we left it? Because I do feel like this is the generation, these past 50 years, 75 years, we're the ones that have done the most damage. We've done more damage in the past million years of Homo sapiens on this earth, you know? And so it's a rare opportunity to take a pause and try to figure out some methods to correct it as well.
Well, I feel like as a species, I feel like humanity's, metaphorically, we're leaving our teenage years. We're 18 now. You know what I'm saying? And you remember when you were a teenager, and 18 was the big one, because like, oh, if I get in trouble with the cops, it's no more young offenders. There's no, I'm going into the system. You know what I'm saying? You're leaving home, and now you got to make money for real. And like the responsibility of the choices you make and the life you're going to live there's no illusion about it anymore. And that's where we're at now. The choices we make with how we generate power, how we grow our food, now have real consequences for the planet that we understand. How we treat the poor, how we deal with sickness, things like this. All right, well, you don't want to pay people a living wage, and you don't want to give them health care. So when they get sick, they got to go to work. But now the sickness spreads by touch and cough. You don't know, you know, the trip of a minimum wage, $7 an hour guy who has to work 2 jobs to scrounge, and he works in a grocery store, and he has some other essential job, but can't afford a car. The sickness that he spreads going from point A to point B, that knocks out how many people? There's a grocery store in LA, 19 of the employees have COVID. How many people walked into that place and got sick? You know what I mean? So it's not this, and within all this, you know, reopen, there's always this underlying vibe, like I'm not getting sick.
Yeah.
We need to reopen. And you just feel like somehow you think it's them. And it's always that same shit. It was always that, you know what I mean? And it's so deep rooted into our culture that sickness is something for the other. Yeah. Poverty, it's always the other people's thing. And since it's the other people's thing, fuck them, make them do it. Mm-hmm. It's a wake up, man. Like, I know not everyone, you know, look, there's revolt and we in the culture. So there's a lot more folks going to listen to us who have an understanding of God and universe and some form of belief in it. The universe is at work. God's at work. You know, we've all had those experiences in our life. We're like, oh, this is not random. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not random, man. In fact, I'll hit you with, like, I wonder, and this is just, you know, we should have a blunt and some alcohol to have this talk. But I wonder, remember when Aaliyah died?
Yeah.
And so soon afterwards, we got 9/11. Mm-hmm. And then Kobe died and we got hit with this. Mm-hmm. And I wonder, those are the 2 examples I can think in my head, but I wonder if there's something where we lose someone that just hits everybody. Mm-hmm. And then right after that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going to start really watching, but because when Aaliyah died, everyone was so rocked. When Kobe died, everyone was so rocked. And then this.
There are these paradoxical universal shifts, I believe. I believe everything is connected. I believe all of us, you know, but in the way of all drops in a cup of water are all connected, even if you pour it out, I believe that we're all connected. And yeah, I think that the energy with some human beings, sometimes the pendulum shifts. But I mean, you know, there's so many different ways to look at it. And I just think, regardless of how we put it into perspective, it's like this is a time for us to really reflect and try to come up with some solutions. If we don't come up with solutions now, we're all going to be in serious trouble, for sure.
Yeah, man. Look, we have the money, the health, just our entire society. We can't leave the house.
Yeah.
Right. And I know there's a bunch of places like, fuck it, we're just going to go back to normal. It don't work like that.
No.
This is not how this, we're really in it. We're really in it. And these are some, it's unprecedented. Even during World War, even during a war, there's people who are working and making money, you know what I'm saying? Like this is just, we're just in something that you can't go outside. You can't be around people. And if you do, the risk of spreading the sickness, and who knows what this means for us. But at the same time, we've needed a change. We've needed a change. And I know power is not going to give it up so easily, but we just can't go on like this.
100%. Well, listen, man, you and I, we can talk all day. I'm gonna hit you offline, man. I appreciate your time, man. Give everybody all your Instagram handles and everybody so they can follow you.
It is Director X on IG. I'm barely on Twitter, but it's iDirectorX on Twitter. But Director X on Instagram, and actually check out Operation Prefrontal Cortex on Instagram at op.pfc, which is a program that I've started with some friends to reduce gun and mass violence through meditation. So check that out, man. Like you said, we have to give back. We have some things we need to work on,
100%, man. That brother is changing the game and changing the culture. We had to check in to make sure he's good. I hope you good. My name is Terrence J. I'll see y'all next week. Love, bro.
Yeah, man. Peace, bro.